Hey everyone, this is Captain Horfe, and this is episode 36 of Horfe Plays Resonant Rise 3. So I'm out here making a flower. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of Runa Air. Boom, Hopper Hawk. So I'm going to take this Hopper Hawk and an Ender Chest, and I'm going to solve a problem that I've been having pretty much since I set up my Blood Altar. And I thought I hadn't, there we go. So I put this, let's go down the Blood Altar room. I put this mana pool here in anticipation of putting maybe like Tiger's Eye down here. Yeah. See, we keep putting vacuum hoppers up and they keep getting destroyed. And there's no way to really protect it from getting destroyed and still be able to get the drops. But with this hopper hawk I just made, I should be able to, with a little bit of dirt. I could make it a floating flower, but it should be just as easy to plunk down a bit of dirt. So, for example, stop it. Put dirt here and dirt here. I'm going to stick the ender chest here in this little sneaky hole. So that's obsidian. Everything is protected by obsidian. This is basically a blast-proof room now with nothing in it. And I'm going to put the hopper hawk here. And assuming the hopper hawk can get mana, bind mode, that to this, I think it'll work. Now, yes, it's working. So basically, hopper hawks can get stuff through walls. Unlike a vacuum hopper where it actually has to physically pull the item to it, a hopper hawk can basically grab anything that's in this room without it having to be in this room, which is exactly what I need. It just needs a little mana, I guess, for the range upgrade. Yeah. So it should have a pretty good supply of mana from. Remember, this is right under our infusion altar, so that's day blooms and then I think they're nightshades. So this should be a super reliable source of getting all the mob drops from my blood altar that won't get destroyed, can't get destroyed because it's behind obsidian, and should alleviate some of the manual fiddling I have to do with this thing. So, and it's very simple. I should have done it a long time ago. I didn't realize, you know, I was thinking, what else is there besides? It's probably boring to look at the screen. What else is there besides vacuum hoppers? And then I thought, hopper hawks. I wonder if they go through walls. Turns out they do. I'm hoping this will get us more ender pearls. That's really what I'm wrestling with. Might do some other measures this episode to get even more ender pearls. I haven't decided yet. Once I make these Endarium blocks, I won't need quite as many. I've got my Natura pylons because I shut down the elf portal again. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to do, so let's get going. So I'm looking at the page for auto magi, and there's one thing I want to make, and that's a magic hourglass. Magic hourglass, it's kind of like a Project Red timer, except it looks cooler, and I think it's probably easy. I don't know if it's got like facing or stuff, and fine tune the timer. Da da da. Alternating mode, which sends a redstone signal 50% of the time. So it's got a couple of weird little features, and it just looks awesome. So I'm going to try to do that. First thing I need to do is make a bunch of red crystal, which is just redstone and vitreous. So let's just grab a stack of redstone. And it was one vitreous per, right? Red crystal. So red crystal is sort of like, I think I've talked about it before. It's sort of like redstone, except you can put it up walls and such. So it gives you a little more freedom. Sort of like redstone paste. Not to keep comparing mods to other mods. Alright, well, so this thing, where I had all this stuff and there was this battery was constantly getting drained, I had the bright idea that I only really need to turn this on when I'm out here. So, don't forget to turn the lights off when you leave. So we need some vitreous. Let me grab the files. And do we have any vitreous? No. Pretty sure vitreous is in glass. It should, in fact, that's all glass is vitreous. So, sand. Hold on. Glass. I believe we have a crafting recipe for glass. We did at one point. Oh, hold on. Both. Both is good. Why don't you make like 3 inner glass? Sounds like a plan. So, I'm just going to take what glass we have now and toss it in here. Cook it up. Get some vitreous. I should have enough to fill at least one file. Pick vitreous? Okay, great. I think one's all I'm really going to need, so at least for now. Just want to throw this in here, vitreous, and then we're going to throw redstone in here, red crystal. Should be about as straightforward as these recipes get. And we should get 8 when it's all said and done. I'll throw the files back in here. Perfect. I'll grab the rest of this, turn that off. So, what else are we going to need for the hourglass? We're going to need a normal hourglass, we're going to need a weighted pressure plate, gold nugget, air shard. This is all pretty easy. The hourglass, sand, glass panes. It's just a it's just a workbench recipe. So let's go here, hourglass. Oh, redstone comparator. Or, sorry, redstone repeater. You can tell, obviously you can tell how much I use vanilla mine redstone stuff. Alright, so we got an hourglass. So what we want to do, we actually want to throw this in here too. And then we want to hop on down to our super room. This is not, there we go. Okay, I took the scenic route. You guys like to watch my base. So I'll throw this in here, and then, what do we need again? Let's see. Red crystal, hourglass. Okay, what's a weighted pressure plate? Weighted pressure plate light. It's just 2 gold bars. Can do. So, plate, red crystal, hourglass, and derp, air shard and the gold nugget. Yeah, well, who wouldn't remember that? So, gold nugget, air shard. I'm teasing you guys because I'm not going to be using this right away. So, I promise I'll use it by the end of the episode, but for now, just take a look at it. It's pretty sweet. Put it down, you can flip it, it's got a little sand effect, and I think if you shift right click, okay, well, apparently we're going to have to learn how to control this thing. For now, let's just smack it around. Alright, so even with the mob drops, even with pretty big, I mean, it's gotten fairly sizable. If you look at that, Ender Pearl setup, Ender Lily. I'm still just not really getting Ender Pearls fast enough. Right now I need a ton because of Enderium, but I'm always going to need lots of Ender Pearls. It is Resonant Rise after all. So, what I'm going to try to do is, we're going to basically look to the aid of a blood magic ritual. So what I'm going to do is look for my ritual stones. I'm going to grab this guy. I mean, we have so much blood magic energy. Let's see, how much do we have at this point? Do I have my divination? Yeah. Look at this. This is ridiculous. That's like 9 million. And growing. So we might as well use some of this, right? Alright, so what we're going to do is, I need those ritual stones, as I said. What I need to do is make a master ritual stone, like so. I need a blood orb. Will any of these work? The magicians work? I have to go get my good blood orb. Or, hold on, I think the other one's in this guy. It's not far. Yeah, there it is. Master blood orb's right here. Pink. Get 1 master ritual stone. Grab the rest of the ritual stones. Set the diviner to ritual of the Green Grove. If you've seen the sigil of the Green Grove, very similar. So let's go out here. And for now, we're just actually going to pull this up. So we're going to waste a little growth. It's okay. We got our 9 seeds. 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, I had to do it by the water. 7, 8, 9. Oh, this is the other fun thing. Is underneath this is more water. So do I have my axe in here? Yeah. That axe. Alright, for now, I'm just going to stick a ritual stone there. Axe. Now, the one thing I'm a little concerned about is my golem falling in. In fact, where's my bell? I gotta hurry. Let's just shut you off for now, son. And we better shut you off for now, too. I don't trust you. In fact, I don't really trust you. The trust is 0. So let's finish breaking this off. And then what we want to do is we're going to go like here, put the master ritual stone here, break this off again, right? And make that perfect. And I should be able to, well, I want to put the endstone back, but endstone isn't really going to allow this ritual to work. We need something a little more potent. So I'm going to have to work at making that. And before I activate the ritual, I'm going to make some of this stuff. So stuff I'm talking about is ender cores. Ender cores allow growth effects to work on ender lilies, basically. They're pretty expensive. Let me just make a few of these. I gotta be careful because I don't have a lot of ender pearls. So let's make 2. I think I can make at least 3 of these, no problem. Magical wood is gonna be the... I'm curious, how much magical wood do I have? Magical wood, I've got 6. So I can make 2. Well, 2 is better than 0, so we're gonna make 2. I'm gonna put them out here. We'll start with this one since this is going to be the annoying one. Ender core. And ender core. I'm going to plant the ender lilies here and here. Now hopefully that green grove effect should kick in and they should... well, it's not going to kick in until we whack it with the activation crystal. Now hopefully it will kick in. I'm going to watch these for just a minute. Because I am curious. So it's extremely cheap, but I think the cheapest way for me to make magical wood, or the most hassle-free way, is just going to be go here, 29 levels, and a stack of redstone gets you an efficiency 5 book. I want to get 4 efficiency 5 books. Book and quill. Alright, need a little more levels. Let me get up to 29. Oh, 29. Let me get another one. Alright, I gotta go grab one more book, or redstone, I mean. I'm gonna go grab redstone. And then we're gonna make magical wood out of this. So the higher the bonus, the idea here is that the higher the bonus, the more wood you're supposed to get per recipe. But I don't know if it's just the number that matters, like this is 5, or if efficiency 5 is like different than, say, I don't know, protection 4, whatever. You know what I mean. So let me get 29 again. I basically have unlimited essence berries. I think I have like 3,000. So let's see how much magical wood this makes. Bookshelf. We need to make the bookshelf. Alright. And this recipe kind of is a little broken, so we're going to do it manually. Gold. Here. And I forget, I think gold's in the corners, so let's see. What? Efficiency 5, efficiency 5, efficiency 5. 17 magical wood, that's the way to roll right there. So, if I just do that a few times, I'm going to have like a stack of magical wood in no time. How many ender cores can we make now? see. Let's see. If I make I a vendor, 1, 2, 3. Oh, by the way, after watching it a little longer, pretty sure it's helping. I think when we go out there, I'm hoping the effect will be even more pronounced. So there, I made 3 more. Just doing this in little bitty chunks, but that's okay. Yeah, see, this one's already been harvested, and this one's at 86%, and the rest of these still at 14%. Definitely makes a difference. So 4, 5. I'm basically gonna put down 9 of these ender cores, and then I'm hoping that we'll start getting more ender pearls that way. Yeah, see, it's just wow. Okay, definitely helps. I need to get 9 so I can take full advantage of this ritual of the Green Grove. Oh, this is great. I should have done this a long time ago. Well, I am frankly a little shocked. You might have to wait even longer to see me use that timer now, because I'm frankly a little shocked to see that there is no Turbine redstone port. There's only a Turbine computer port. So if I want to have any sort of automation of the Turbine at all, I can't use redstone, I can't use a timer, I have to make a computer port. Oh, and I'm going to have to make another rotor, aren't I? Rotor shaft. Make that. So I have to get a computer port, which means I'm also going to have to get a computer. And I might as well get an advanced. God, it's so cheap. So, a little bit of computer craft I'm going to have to do in order to, and it should be simple enough. I'll do it off camera, of course, because I haven't done computer craft in forever. But I do have a little bit of background in programming, scripting anyway, whatever. Enough to figure out computer craft. So what I'm going to do is, we've got the controller here. I'm just going to break this real fast, put this guy right here. And then I guess we'll just slap this computer right there. Oh god. Alright. I have to go learn a bunch of computer craft and look at the API for this guy. And then I'm going to write just a real simple little script that basically is going to try to keep this thing at around 1800. Right now it's at 0 because we turned the reactor off, and eventually this cooled down, which means we stop producing steam. So anyway, let me go get my computer craft chops on. Oh, this might take a... I kind of put myself in a little hole here. But I shouldn't have to write too complicated of a program, so let's see what I can come up with. After about 34 minutes of messing around on the wiki and just playing with this, I think I've got something very simple. I wrote it to be as simple as humanly possible, and it works, and it does what I want. So I'm going to just really quickly... I know this is going to be like super nerd sauce for some of you, but I'm going to just really quickly run through this very simple computer program that I've used to basically automate this thing. And this actually works way better than the redstone timer. It took a little time to line it up. It's only 25 lines of code, but it's going to be so much better than what I had planned. So I'm kind of glad it forced me to make this thing. Alright, so what we're doing here is basically a peripheral wrap. Basically, we're telling the computer to connect to the turbine behind it, and we're grabbing the rotor speed, and just writing a little line to say the turbine monitor is online. This thing just runs in a permanent while loop, and it doesn't really give you any UI. So this is not Windows here. This does a job. It's not here to report to you. You can look at the turbine interface if you need that. So basically, while the turbine get connected equals true, this just makes sure that it's still connected to the turbine. So this should always be true unless something happens, like the chunk gets unloaded, whatever reason it loses its connection, it stops the program. So each time through the loop we get the rotor speed, that's how fast the blades are turning. Now remember, we want to keep it around 1800. So basically, if the rotor speed is greater than 1850, we turn off the turbine so that it'll keep what rotor speed it has, but the rotor will start slowing down, and it won't speed up. Then once it hits 1800, we want to, and I'm going to change this to 1750. I want a little bit, I don't want it constantly flickering on and off. So basically from 1850, it'll dwindle down to 1750, and then it cuts back on. So that will automate keeping our rotors at around 1800. It'll keep it within 50 in either direction, roughly, so that we can maximize our power output. So 1800 is a sweet spot. The further away from 1800 you get, so even if you have the rotors going at 1900, you don't get as much power as 1800. So this will help us keep it at around 1800. The other thing is the inductor coils. Basically, the parts. So I think I explained this in the episode I built this reactor, but basically you have coils, and the coils are what capture the energy. So if the coils are off, your rotors will spin up faster, but you won't generate any power. When your coils are on, your rotors don't spin up as fast, but you generate power. I really don't care about generating power until I get this thing spun up to the right speed. So if it's less than 1750, it turns the coils off so that we can get the rotor speed up to 1750 as quickly as possible. Once it's up above 1750, it engages the coils, and it should always stay above 1750 thanks to this. So this automates when we first fire this turbine up and it needs to spin up the blades. I want the blades to spin up as quickly as possible so that we can start generating maximum power output. And then once the blades are spun up, I want to engage the coils and keep them engaged. The last thing is just server friendliness, or, well, single player, so computer friendliness. Tell it to sleep for 5 seconds before going through this loop again and checking everything. So that's really, really simple. That's all it does. The last thing I want to do is edit. I think this is how you do it. It's been a while. I just want to basically edit the startup script to run Turbine. And then I think if I hit Control R, it'll reboot the computer. Oh. Is it exec Turbine? Alright, hold on, I'll look it up. I found it. It looks like it's shell.run, so just a tiny little. You guys didn't have to watch me program this, so you're gonna have to watch me do this. Hashtag deal with it. Exit, edit, startup. It's shell run turbine. Save, exit. So basically I'm doing this so that if this thing ever reboots for whatever reason, it'll immediately start running the turbine program, because that's all this thing is for. And see, immediately the turbine kicked on. If you'll notice, turbine's on, coils are off. Coils should turn on when we hit around 1750, and then once we hit around 1850, the turbine should shut off. And then once we get around 1750, it should turn back on. So I'm going to let this spin up, and then we're going to watch this and see, make sure the computer does what we want it to. So we're getting up close to 1750 RPM. So when we hit that, what should happen, oh, this is silly, but I want to line up better. What should happen is within 5 seconds, the coils, these induction coils should kick on. So it should go from disengage to engage. Let's see if it works. Yes! It worked. We're generating 15,000 RF per tick. We waited till the coils were spinning nice and fast so that we would get so much RF. You really don't get that much RF when it's spinning up, so it's better to just let it spin up. So now what we're going to do is watch it hit 1850 and then see if the reactor or the turbine kicks off. So it shouldn't take long. Just going to keep an eye on it. 13. Yeah, and I think 1750 and 1850 are probably the right numbers to use. So what's happening now is we're getting to 30. Come on now. So when this hits 1850, I want this thing to kick off. Sweet. Alright, it shut off. So the rotors are not spinning up. They're not getting any faster. The rotors are just going to slow back down to about 1750. Oh my god, this is perfect. This is perfect. So the RF we get's kind of in a little bit, it's a little variable. It's in like a range basically, but it's a pretty good range. Now 1750, this should kick back on. And so the lowest it really gets, it does dip below 14,000 RF per tick, but that's still pretty amazing. Immediately it kicks back on. Um, the coils were off for a second. I should fiddle with that so that it doesn't. It's a minor detail, but I don't want it cutting the coils off. Then maybe I'll cut the coils on when it hits 1700, so that way the coils will never turn off once they turn on, they'll never turn off. I want to make that little change now, but other than that, this is working perfectly. This is working exactly the way I wanted it to. I'm so. It didn't take much programming, and there's no I don't have a fancy UI that puts everything up in big, bold, beautiful colors, but it gets the job done. And it's going to keep this reactor right in the sweet spot of power generation. It's always going to be generating just the optimal amount of power. All right, perfect. And by the way, this is all going. Notice we're not buffering any power. It's all going straight into our quarry. So we're getting a lot of resources right now. Alright, I made the tiny little change to the coils, so now the coils, the lowest this gets is around 1720, so at 1700 the coils, once they're engaged, after the initial spin up, they should never turn off. So we'll always be generating between 14,000 and 16,000 RF per tick. Now the other cool thing about this setup is don't forget we have a wireless redstone connected to the reactor. So what happens is, right now I just have this on, but I'm going to turn this off. Normally it's only going to be turned on by redstone. But what happens is, this thing takes time to cool down. While it's cooling down, it's still generating steam. While it's still generating steam, this is still going, and Computercraft is still going to modulate this to make the most use of that steam. Eventually this will run out of steam, and then we'll still generate power as these coils spin all the way down to 0. So, even after you kill the reactor, you still get this nice little buffer of kind of power backlog, so nothing gets wasted. And see, this is going with the reactor off. We're basically generating all this with the reactor off. Still going quite fast, and it's going to go quite fast for a while. So that's pretty awesome. I think this setup is fairly automatic. I can turn it on and off remotely anywhere I have that wireless redstone hooked up, and that computer will handle all the turbine logic. And that's really all the logic it needs. I don't need it to do anything fancier than what it's doing. What it's doing is perfect. It's optimizing my power output. The only thing I can do to make this better is add the other ring plus 5 more blocks of Enderium that we need here. And then we should be getting a lot of power. I think 20,000 plus. So, speaking of Enderium, I wonder how our Ender Pearls are doing. Remember we set up that Ender Core. I set up that Ender Core thing before I started fiddling with Computercraft. So, I don't know if the game got paused or not. Let's see how we're doing on Ender Pearls. Whoa! Oh my god! Oh, oh my god, dude. We have so many Ender Pearls coming in. It's a little ridiculous. Ender Pearl. I'm just gonna take all these and make Enderium out of because we're getting so many now. Oh my god, I can't believe how many we're getting. I wasn't gone maybe 40 minutes? Yeah, about 40 minutes. Wow. We're just cleaning up on Ender Pearls. I'll just do 2 stacks. I'm not gonna sit here and make you watch it though. Oh my god, success. Oh, by the way, I thought of something to do with this hourglass. Probably not going to happen this episode, though, so it's going to be a bit of a cliffhanger. You're going to have to keep watching to see how I use this thing, but I do have an idea for it. Timers are always handy, so, keep a timer around. You're eventually going to think of a use for it. Oh my god, the Ender Pearls. That's beautiful. So I basically took every Ender Pearl I had and just threw it in here. I used the hopper to help. Yeah, so we should have... You've got 18 buckets of Resonant Ender. And remember, it's like a quarter bucket. Each pearl's a quarter bucket. And I think most of the rest... The Enderium... Oh, no, you do need a full bucket for Enderium, so... Anyway, also, this drive's getting pretty full. The reason why? I've been kind of just siphoning life essence for a while now, and I have 800 buckets. That's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna have to upgrade my fluid storage here pretty soon. Anyway, Enderium. So I have 7 blocks. I need, trying to do the math here, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I need 6 more, I think. I'm going to throw this back in here so it'll get used. So 6 Enderium blocks. Let's see how far we get. Boom. Alright, I'm just going to go in here. You may find this boring. Sorry if you do. I like this. I just find this so amusing. Just sit here and watch the crafting computer. Alright. It's making up it's grinding up the stuff it needs. It's, oh my god, it's like getting close to done. Yeah, I think it's got everything we need in here, slammed in here. So as soon as this all cooks up, it's going to be able to make these blocks. Oh my. That is a thing of beauty. Yeah, it's got 44 scheduled. And if it runs out of pyrotheum, it knows how to make more. So we should never run out of pyrotheum either. Oh my god, this is nice. So once this is all cooked up, I should have the rest of the Enderium blocks I need to finish my turbine coil. And then we can really see how much power we crank out. So, we have the Enderium blocks we need. I just want to note, in the time it took to make those Enderium blocks, I got 9 more Ender Pearls. We are going to be swimming in Ender Pearls. We could be swimming in Enderium. I could, like, fill a giant Olympic-sized pool full of Enderium. That would be pretty sweet. Anyway. Dork. Let's go back to... back to here. I am going to trick out my reactor. I keep saying reactor. Gotta learn the new lingo, bro. Now it's a turbine. So let's get up here and I'm just gonna break in from here. So that should have caused my computer to throw an exception, I'm pretty sure. 2, 3. Ugh. 4, 5. Let's just use these, it's easier. 6, 7, 8. And then we got 5 more that we can just kind of place wherever. 2, 3. Alright. 4, 5. Alright, so that's 8, 16, 24, 32, 37 blocks. That's supposed to be the optimum magic number to get the most power possible out of this beast. So, oh, everything's off. That's right. Well, I suppose I should do it the proper way this time if I want to see what this is doing and go in here. So I'm gonna turn this on, and then I have one more thing I want to do to just make my reactor as turbine setup as perfect as possible. So let me get set up for that, and we'll be right back. What's up, Piggy? Yeah, me too. Now that I've got this whole thing set up, I really wanted it to be as fuel efficient as possible. So if you notice here, you remember I ripped out all the passive cooling? I put all the Enderium and the diamond back. I pretty much set this reactor the way it was before I built the turbine. The reason from that is that I was reading forum posts and stuff, and basically people were saying that passive cooling does matter. You will get the boost to energy efficiency. It will just be converted to steam instead. So a good passively cooled reactor is going to be a good steam reactor. It's off right now, but when I turn it on, oh, we're only generating 1,865 millibuckets of steam per tick. We're not actually keeping up with this reactor's needs now because it needs 2,000, as you can see. I think it's, yeah, see, it's gonna struggle because of that. So really we want to make sure we get 2,000 in here. Why is it doing so little? It was working great before. I actually got the fuel rods way down. This thing is such a good reactor, it's producing way more steam than this thing needs. I could probably build another one right next to it and power it as well. In fact, who knows, maybe I will. But for right now, I've just been pulling the fuel rods down and trying to find the perfect number. I think 60% down is going to be that number. See, now we're generating plenty of steam. We can easily keep up with this. And our Our millibuckets per tick, remember this was like 1 point something before. Now it's down to 0.061 because of our control rods. So I just now this is even that much more efficient. In fact, I'm gonna have to probably break out my old spreadsheet and take a look at this. But first, I need to let this spin up. And computer's running, so we know everything's turbine monitor online. I need to let this guy spin up first so that we can see how much power we're generating with all the coils in place. Then we're gonna do the math. Alright folks, it's time to review the fruits of all this hard labor, setting all this up, hard labor, virtual hard labor, and calculate the efficiency of this thing. So, after a little more fiddling around, I discovered the optimal number for this particular reactor is 67% inserted on the control rods. So, that's most of the way down. And if you look at this, and this, the whole idea is this thing can only take 2,000 millibuckets of steam per tick maximum. So we want this reactor to be generating just enough power to make that much. And for this one, it's 67% control rods. And look at this, 0.052 millibuckets per tick. I'm looking at all my reactor designs. This is using less millibuckets per tick than any of them. Even the first 5x5 with one yellorium rod was using more fuel than this is. So 0.052 is the fuel consumption. Pretty damn good. Let's go over here to the reactor. I don't think it's completely spun up to 1800, but let's see how much we're generating. 22,900 RF per tick. That's more than this line can carry. This line can only carry 20,000. If you'll notice, this buffer is full. I'm going to have to use another source of energy transport if I want to get that little extra. I'm not too worried about it right now. 22,000. It's going to get more as it gets closer to 1800. It's going to only go up, but I'm going to just use 22,500, I think it was. Yeah, that'll work. 22,500. That's a low number. Well, we'll just say 23,000 because that's at around. When it hits 1750, that's like at the range I want to keep it in. That's the low end of the range that the computer keeps it in. So 23,140, we'll say. Alright, let's calculate the fuel. So the most efficient thing we've built so far is 83,870 millibuckets, or 83,870 RF per millibuckets. This thing, 445,000 RF per millibucket. That's like over 5 times the most efficient reactor we've built. Is that right? Yeah, doing the math in my head. Over 4 to 4.5 times. That's amazing. This thing per ingot is generating 445 million RF per yellorium. That just blows my mind. The thing is, I should take it down to... I'm going to do 2 versions of this calculation because this thing is down to, let's see, if it's 2480. Yeah, it's still almost 400,000 RF per millibucket and 400 million RF per ingot. It's just a little under 400,000. It's 393,000. That is just mind-boggling. Alright, this is pretty awesome. And with that, I have to wrap up the episode. This one's actually a bit long, so I hope you enjoyed it. I am amazed with this setup. So I hope you like it too. Feel free to build something similar in your world. Although if you look out there, there's setups that just put this one to shame. Imagine a reactor that's like the size of this turbine with like 6 turbines attached to it. Yeah, now you're talking some real RF per tick. Anyway, likes, comments, all that's appreciated. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.